further riflemen are moving in to open fire, and we see the T-17 as well blasting away. No kills so far. Anti-tank gun firing away, destroying the engine. Very nice job. T-17 trying to back out of there as fast as it can as possible with a destroyed engine. Incendiary grenade going off, forcing back some riflemen. Another incendiary grenade going off to this point of cover, forcing the riflemen out of that. Doing a nice job dispersing them, but the riflemen are the panzer grenadiers are taking a lot of fire as further and further riflemen are moving in with BARs, and the T-17 just continues to fire away without remorse, without hesitation, and a lot of panzer grenadiers are lost. In fact, the panzer grenadier team is lost, and one of the dead are launched right into the river, and we see a howitzer, a Raj being called in to cover things up here. Most of the shots though do hit. Besides, since the bridge isn't really a huge target, in fact. And we do see one shot actually hitting the bridge, a second one. Anti-tank half-track moving through. Apparently not carrying that artillery is being called in. Might hunt down that T-17 or it might not, I'm not sure. 30 caliber heavy machine gun team, meaning we are seeing a weapon support sent out for the Americans. And the Wehrmacht, Panzer Elite does have the western situation mostly solidified, as most of the fighting are turning towards the center, and Illrage is certainly holding the spot. His T-17 still holding out, doing a bit of damage and stunning this half-track in fact, and continuing to fire away as now riflemen are moving in. Looks like this anti-tank half-track really should have waited instead of rushing in and trying to be the hero. So there we go, a anti-tank half-track is knocked down, and there we go, the second right in front of the machine gun being slowly torn apart while the T-17 fired away. Did not go well, and now we see all of these panzer grenadiers hanging about, having a bit of a party right in front of the Kampfgruppe company. Not entirely sure what he will go for, perhaps panzer tracks, perhaps half-tracks. Half-tracks would certainly be nice, but might be too late now. And the scout car has gotten the logistic upgrade, getting some nice radio aerials of the older kind and securing this point. And we see riflemen moving in towards the center, while the panzer grenadiers are moving towards the south. We'll probably run into this machine gun emplacement and suffer for it. Getting a third anti-tank half-track. We better not hope that Mr. Illrage will get a Sherman tank, in which case Mr. Jager will find his Kampfgruppe in a lot of trouble. Otherwise all quiet for the moment as all are dashing about, but apparently they are aware of this and are dashing right beside it, going for the longer route, and will probably try to deal it from behind, albeit Gewehr 43s and incendiary grenades on the best measure to clear up machine gun emplacement. Setting up in the barn, anti-tank half-track driving right by, taking a bit of fire, and Gewehr 43s firing away at the machine gun emplacement, but they will be caught up if all goes badly, as now a large force of American riflemen and a T-17 are moving in. This could easily end up as a terrible last stand, as the German forces are going for this victory point, and we see the Americans are going straight here, and we see another armored car, but it will certainly be outgunned. 30 caliber as well, blazing away. Riflemen moving in. Not sure why they didn't go from this approach either. Certainly going to be facing the broadside of this barn, and the T-17 is in fact capable of hitting it. So that certainly says something about the accuracy. Panzer grenadiers though are for some reason leaving it, and oh dear, we see a howitzer barrage is being called in to clear away the German forces of this area. A lot of panzer grenadiers are lost, an entire team, and looks like these are going to be caught and forced to retreat, while further artillery barrages are hammering in on this old barn. A few more panzer grenadiers are going down, and the half-track is out of control, being lost, and apparently the other panzer grenadier team did manage to get out of there in time, but really not looking good at all. Objective secured. Rifle squad defending. And we do see a mortar half-track as well, not firing at all at these American positions, perhaps waiting for the scout car to scout, or just doing nothing? I can't see, but certainly just lost a lot of panzer grenadiers. Really lacking in infantry. He really needs something to make up for that. And we now have the M2 105mm howitzer blasting away at the Panzer Elite base. So that will
down to 300 points.
Certainly be bad, and it's certainly not a good sign for the Panzer Elite commander that the American can just begin shelling his base. He's certainly been using a lot of his command points for that, and of course a lot he has earned because Mr. Jager has not been able to offer much resistance. No doctrine for him yet, but we do see a Panzer IV hitting the field. 30 caliber. Pointing in a curious direction. Scout car did move in but did do nothing, and the mortar half-track is still doing absolutely nothing as well. Amazing riflemen will find themselves intercepted by the scout car and these Panzer Grenadiers, and on a lot of fire as they will be right out in the open, but they do turn towards cover and towards the American line. The 30 caliber having set up in a slightly better defendable position, making it much harder to be flanked. So will end very badly for the German forces. The Panzer IV trundling as well, crashing through the woods. 30 caliber firing away at the Panzer Grenadier position. Looks like a rifleman team was lost though, and 75mm high explosive shells are landing on the heavy machine gun team, killing one member and forcing the rest into a full rout as the medium tank crashes through the lines, unleashing high explosive death upon all those who would oppose the fatherland. And now scout cars are moving in to secure this area alongside the Panzer Grenadiers. And again, I feel really that perhaps Mr. Jager should just focus on these 2 points instead of trying to just jump around from point to point, in particular since he's not really managing any heavy casualties. And anti-tank gun just Panzer IV just charging right into the base. Sticky bomb going off, knocking down, apparently very keen on knocking out this howitzer. We see a tank depot going up, but this is really bad. You don't want to send your Panzer IV right into an enemy base without any support. Blasting away, killing as many riflemen as possible, I suppose. But this getting covered in sticky bombs, trying to get out of there, and the engine is destroyed. Now all that is needed is for an anti-tank gun to appear out of this motor pool and just knock it out. Further losses for the riflemen as further high explosive shells do land among them. Another sticky bomb going off on the Panzer IV, locking down once more since it realized it can't move now. It is immobilized and might as well just fire as many shells as it can, killing 12 riflemen, which is certainly not an entirely bad tool, but considering the price of the Panzer IV, I'm not sure it's worth it. Did crush that howitzer, so not all bad, and of course it might have been his artillery rage that did prompt him to just throw it into there. Although I do feel it is sort of a waste. Tank busters on the field, 4-man teams and 1 Panzer Schreck. Now the anti-tank gun is taking line of fire on the tank and blowing it up, sending shrapnel everywhere, and particularly mostly into the river it seems. Germans trying to secure what they can, possibly also going for this central point. We do see some engineers repairing this T-17, which seems to have stopped moving alongside a rifleman team, which is helping this machine gun emplacement. A bit spread out forces and a sudden lack of aggression from Captain Illrage. Tank busters hitting a mine most tragically. A lot of command points still not going for anything. A bit odd, in fact. Panzer Grenadiers forced to retreat in the face of riflemen with BARs. But these Panzer Grenadiers do have the offensive veterans, one meaning they can hit a bit better and fire a bit faster, so they do stand a chance against these riflemen. Although it would have been preferable if they had in cover, and there we go, 4 riflemen dead right beneath this tree. No MG. And we see a fresh assault right here for this high ground, and of course nothing nearby to defend except this mortar half-track, but it is apparently not aware of what's going on. But there we go. But it needs panzergrenadiers to actually shield it, and oh dear, now again he's just moving his panzergrenadiers forwards instead of reacting to this. This is really bad. He's sending them out, exposing them, and of course leaving what he has undefended. My goodness, Mr. Jaeger, I'd certainly not call you elite. Panzer strike fire on the T-17, but the T-17 just blasts away, killing as many tank busters as it can, and they will need to get out of there before it is too late. I said, yeah, there we go. Taking a lot of fire still, though, on the retreat down the slopes. Narrowly dodges the shells from the T-17 gun. And the Americans are securing this area in force once more, and of course no real Wehrmacht Panzer Elite forces to actually deter them from this, since they're all everywhere but where they are needed. And now going for Panzer Jager command. I can't help but feel he's going for a lot of building, but not really used either building to its fullest extent. So it feels like a bit like a bad move, in particular since he doesn't really have that many infantry forces. Sticky bomb going off on the scout car, destroying the engine, but it is still there and still able to secure the point. Another scout car moving in. Still not the best control of the map so far. Will we see something out of this tank depot? Yes, there we go. Tank depot is glowing and sending out sparks. And we have the venerable M4 Sherman, workhorse of the American Armored Forces, ready to show those crowds what it is all about, in particular since the Germans has very little in anti-tank assets, only a single tank buster team at the moment. Going for the Panzer Jager command upgrade though, so might be able to get a martyr in time, so not all hopeless. If he uses it properly, that is, and of course keeps the panzer grenadiers nearby. Jaeger command upgrade is completed. Engineers going down to panzer grenadiers, some of them with quite a lot of infantry riflemen as well. And now the Sherman is on the spot, killing a panzer grenadier. I think no, apparently not. It hit the oh dear, and the scout car has caught fire brewing up. And the engine was destroyed by a very lucky shot. Apparently, no, it was the anti-tank half that was apparently still there, knocking out and immobilizing it. Now panzer tank busters are trying to get closer with the panzer strike, getting a nice shot in. Mortar rounds as well. T-17 though on the spot to deal with those tank busters and knocking it out. Anti-tank half-track will need to get out of there before the T-17 knocks it out, or the Sherman for that matter, and it is stunned. Apparently going straight for the Panther battle group, which is certainly a rather risky considering he doesn't have the resources, and of course there's still a lot of American infantry as well. So can't help but feel this is perhaps a bit overkill considering the situation. Anti-tank half-track in a deadly duel with this T-17, and it is certainly losing it. T-17 knocking it out and gaining veterancy 3, which means that I do believe it will do more damage with each shot, 50% I suspect.